Hi, welcome back to 2 Styles 1 Pack.
Today we're going to do a tire change on the V14, and there might be even a little bit bonus. Let's go. First things first, we're going to remove this Velcro panel or the fairing plate. Now, if some of you just bought this wheel, something that I would suggest is to put Velcro on the battery packs and the fairing plate. It adds a little bit of thickness, but it does help a lot when you go to remove it. So you can add 2 strips of Velcro, and then instead of the adhesive, you can put 2 bigger strips of Velcro here. And that way, when you go to do any service on your wheel, it's a lot easier. The next step is to remove this orange fairing panel in order for us to release this front battery. It's held on by 2 screws, and they're both 4mm. With those screws removed, you should be able to kind of clip it out. Just be very careful not to pry too hard, as you don't want to break the panel. Clip it from the front. If you look here, you can also see the clip. So this is the clip that you want to release, and there's one more up here. I'll show you on the orange panel once you remove it. There you go. So the clips are these small ones up here near the top, and then you have this big one down here. And that's what you want to release from these slots, and just be careful not to break any of the tabs. So the good thing with the V14 is that they have these external battery connectors, so it's actually even easier than doing a tire change on the Big Old Master, which is already very easy to begin with. So first things first, I'm going to snip that connector, the zip tie, and then we'll unscrew the battery. So there's 2 4mm screws at the top, 2 at the bottom. Now we're going to have to remove this bumper first in order to access the 2 screws. Now what you want to do is just unscrew this. There you go. And then once fully unscrewed, you can just pull them apart. Now with that out of the way, you should be able to extract the battery pack and have it be nice and open. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to release this motor cable, and it's held on by a zip tie at the top, as well as some screws and retaining clips. Let's go ahead and get those removed. Now these are all 2.5mm hex. What? Let's go ahead and cut that zip tie. There you go. Now with the motor cable free, you'll see the 4mm, the motor bolts down here, and they look like they're 5mm. So you have 4 of them on each side, so we're going to remove them on both sides. So before I go ahead and do this, I'm going to clamp the motor, and that way with all the motor bolts removed, the motor is not going to fall down. So I have a ball-ended 5mm hex bit. Now with all 8 of those motor bolts removed, we should be able to slide this out and change the tire. So now we're going to go ahead and flip it over to remove the pressure from the tube. So with the tire air pressure removed, tube air pressure removed, it's unfortunate that the valve is on this side because it's the same size as the motor cable. I'm not sure why the Commander Mini, I think, is also the same way. But if they could put on the other side, it would have been much easier, because then you could manipulate with your finger jujitsu the valve into the hole. This one adds a little bit more work because if we don't want to take apart and remove the phase wires, the cable's going to get in our way. So I'm going to go and press down and try to break, there you go, the bead. Once the bead's broken, we'll go and pull up on it to break the bottom bead. Okay, once that's broken, let's go and try this tire off. I don't want to do this backwards, but it is what it is. Looks like it's super easy, actually. Oh. With the tire pressed into the, you see how much into the grooves, you see how much room you have to work with? Probably, but I like to use levers. If I have them, I might as well use them. Look at that, easy work.
No, it's easy when he's not sweating.
Oh, yeah, I'm sweating. It's just hot. Look at that. I mean, I'm pretty sure Christine could do this tire change with her ring on. Now let's flip it over to see if we can push this valve. There you go. The valve released.
It's already coming out.
Yeah, it's very
like,
loose.
It's like labor. The motor just comes out by itself.
There you go. The tire tube is now out. And now we squeeze this. Oh yeah, for sure. If we squeeze this into the groove there, you can just pull it right off. And that's also because you look at this, you can see how big of a groove they put in here to allow you to stick the tire in, which makes tire changes even bigger of a breeze.
Why don't other wheels do that?
I don't know, they should. It's a nice looking rim. Look at that. Look at that huge groove. Compared to that other wheel that we did, the S16 the other day.
Yeah.
There was just like a concavity. This is a good like 1-inch groove in here.
Albert is happy.
I'm super happy. Okay, so a while ago I had taken the tire already off, but the part that we didn't record was I actually installed a tubeless valve stem. So I'm just going to test and see whether or not it can hold air. The bead up here doesn't seem too good, too strong. It seems very smooth, but we're going to test it and see how it goes. Now, just to show you guys how to put on the tire later, I can also show you, because the groove inside the rim is so deep, you can actually just squeeze it across like that. So you can see how this is all popped. And what you can do is you can actually just pull the tire off.
Can I try?
Yeah. I get Christine with high heels.
Hold on. Step 1, you're gonna squeeze it, right?
Yeah.
And then you need to push it, right? Hold on.
Yeah, you got to push the tire into the little crevice.
And then
Squeeze it to one side of the rim.
to one side of the rim. What did I drop? Okay, again.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. It's perfect, yeah.
And then
Lift it up.
Oh, I pull it back. Push it.
Push it real good. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, my God, style.
Okay, I'll do all your V14 tire change.
Only the V14?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The rest you can do it.
You want to mount the tire now? Because we got to mount it.
We press it back in.
Yeah.
No, the first time you do, you use tire spoon.
Yeah, but this time you can do it without the tire spoon.
Okay. Instruction, please.
So you want to push down one side and then squeeze it into the rim. The same way you did it a while ago. She's even still got her engagement ring on.
Hold on. This is harder.
It is a little bit harder than taking it off, yes. Is it a bit too hard? You got to squeeze the tire into the crevice first.
Is it in there though? Is it sort of in? Is it in?
No, not really. You got to push it harder.
Push it down or what?
Into the crevice.
In.
Yeah.
In.
Well, you can do one side first. Just do one of the beads first instead of doing both at the same time. So you don't want to put your hand there. You want to squeeze this Squeeze it, squeeze it. Okay,
And then?
push down.
No!
Okay, keep going. There you go.
We should see how
Keep
I'm
going.
standing.
Keep going. You're so close.
Ah!
I'll start from here, and you can squeeze it on. There you go.
This is fun.
I'm just going to extend this because it's a little bit short, and I didn't buy the one that has a 90-degree elbow on it. Okay, let's pump 40 psi. Oh, it's already 42. Perfect.
What? That's it?
I pumped it with the other pump. Now what we're going to do is take the motor and throw it back into the shell. So make sure your cable is routed properly. I'll get you to move that way, Christine. Okay. You want to watch your motor cable. You don't want to pinch it. You want it just to go right in between there. And you can semi-line up the holes. And we'll start screwing stuff down. I'm not going to tighten it just yet until all the 4 screws are in. This side. Now we're going to go and secure the phase cable first. Squeeze into this channel. And then make sure we add that zip tie back in. Now that the phase wire is secure, let's flip it over and do the motor bolts on the other side.
You want to cut the zip tie?
Oh yeah, let me cut the zip tie. Now with that done, we can lift the wheel up. And install the battery pack back on. We'll grab our 4mm, and similar to the master, we're going to just thread the screws on. And then once all 4 are threaded, then we'll tighten them down. And then we'll put back the front bumper. Now we're going to plug this back in and screw it tight. And you can zip tie this back together. And then we'll throw the orange cover back on. Now remember, you want to make sure that these clip in, as well as this front piece here. And then we'll get our 2 screws to hold it down. One at the bottom here, and one at the back. With that all done, we're now going to put the power pads back on, which is just using Velcro. And that's the beauty of the application of Velcro. So we got this one on this side. And so that brings us to the end. Now, again, in this scenario, I changed it from a tube tire to a tubeless. I'll report back and you'll see in a couple seconds the result. because tomorrow I'm going to bring this wheel to trail ride and give it a thorough test to see if it can hold its bead. But yeah, it's pretty easy, right? I mean, overall, the steps, everything has access. You don't need to unbolt the suspension. Everything slides out. The battery comes out nicely because there's a plug externally. So good job to InMotion for designing this wheel really well.
Even a lady with dress and high heels and a rain on still can do a tire change on this thing.
And you can do it with no tools,
Yeah,
technically.
I have tools here.
So you can, even if you don't have tools at home, this is super friendly for anybody who wants to start doing tire changes up
Surprised.
by themselves at home.
I can do it, you can do it. Alright, like, subscribe, turn on ding dong ding dong, and
See you next time.